Hello and welcome. State-owned public infrastructure financing firm REC clocked FY24 with its highest ever loan sanctions and disbursals. Back in January, it was in news when after the Ram Mandir consecration ceremony, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the solar rooftop scheme and REC was designated as the nodal agency. In this special conversation, I have with me Mr. Vivek Kumar Dewangan, who is the CMD REC, to talk more about as to what's happening at REC. Sir, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. And let me start with the performance business update that has come out recently on the highest ever loan sanctions and disbursals. Tell us something about how the year was for the REC's business environment. How conducive was the environment?
The last financial year, 2023-24, has been a very fabulous year for REC. The total return to shareholder has been tremendous. We have started the financial year with the share price about 110 rupee. We ended with more than 450 rupee per share, almost more than 350% return to the shareholders. It was very significant from the perspective of overall business growth of REC. We achieved the highest ever sanction of 3,56,000 crore. Last year, our total sanction stood at around 2,68,000 crore. And the disbursement was phenomenally high to the tune of 1,61,000 crore as compared to last year's 97,000 crore disbursement. And we are committed that with this growth happening in our loan book, our asset under management will be doubled in next 5 to 6 years. By the year 2030, we intend to take our loan book to about 10 lakh crore, and 30% of it will come from renewable energy portfolio. Right now, our renewable energy portfolio is about 35,000 crore. We are envisaging about 10-fold increase in renewable energy portfolio to the tune of about 3 lakh crore.
Okay.
And government has also allowed us to diversify into non-power infrastructure and logistics. There also we are saying that there will be 4-fold growth from the present 50,000 crore loan portfolio on non-power infrastructure logistics. It will grow to about 2 lakh crore by the year 2030.
Right. You see, very rightly pointed out, sir. In fact, last year when I spoke to you, that was the time when you had just started venturing into the non-power sector. A year after that, how is that ratio right now being between power sector and the non-infrastructure sector? What are the strides that have been made towards the non-power sector as well in this last 1 year?
As I had told you that we were a bit cautious with regard to non-power infrastructure and logistics. Initially, we had sanctioned only those projects which were supported by the state government guarantees. Now we are gaining confidence. We have ramped up our manpower. We have brought sector experts from different fields, from transport, logistics sector, airport, metro. Experts are there with us. And we also roped in renewable energy sector expert also. Now we hope that with this, our strengthening of the manpower, we'll be able to finance certain private sector projects also in infrastructure and logistics space. Right. But we'll ensure that until unless revenue cash flows are ensured, we are not going to finance any infrastructure projects. The revenue cash flow should be sufficient to meet our repayment obligations. We are targeting good assets. We are not in a hurry to finance infrastructure and logistics sector. Until unless we get a good asset, good entity, then only we are going to finance infrastructure and logistics sector.
Right. Very rightly pointed out by you that there has been a razor sharp focus on the quality of assets, and probably that is the reason why you had recently no NPAs. Tell us about how that razor sharp focus on asset quality is being targeted, and does it affect the margins in the short term?
Yes, we are willing to take a little bit hit on the margin, but we don't want any asset to become NPA. Last 8 quarters have been fabulous. Not a single NPA has been added to our KTT, and already those stressed assets, most of it are getting resolved.
Okay.
And we hope that by December 2025 will become a net zero NPA company, because those assets which are under resolution, some of them are heading towards liquidation. We already made 100% provisioning for those assets, and for those operating assets, we are likely to get good write back because we already made provision of 70%, but our haircut has been limited to only about 40% so far. So we expect a healthy write backs from after resolution of this stressed assets.
And sir, what's the outlook on the cost of funding given the macroeconomic situations? And if you can tell also on the borrowing plan that has been revealed recently.
As you are aware that last year we had disbursed about 1,61,000 crore. So we had borrowed about 1,50,000 crore last financial year. In the current financial year, our board has approved borrowing limit up to 1,60,000 crore. But as the year progresses, if the need be, we'll be able to increase the borrowing limit also. Our conscious effort is to bring down the cost of financing. We have been able to bring down our cost of financing to about 7.16%, and our endeavor is to bring it down to about 7.12 or 7.10%. And since we are targeting good asset quality, good entity, our margins will be able to hold on to our net interest margin about more than 3.55%. We'll be able to hold on to our net interest margin.
Another observation, sir, that as of now, your loan book still consists mainly of the state sector, the government sector. What efforts are being made to diversify towards the private sector as well and have a healthy mix on the loan book between government and private sector?
Yeah, right now our 90% loan is towards state sector and only 10% is towards private sector.
Right.
And we are a bit cautious about private because most of the NPAs from old coal-based thermal power plant were in the power sector, which had become stressed because of two reasons: that they had lost coal linkage after Supreme Court had cancelled the coal block allocation, and they did not have sufficient PPAs. On these two grounds, most of these coal-based assets had become stressed. But going forward, since we are targeting to increase our renewable energy portfolio to about 30% of our loan book by the year 2030, since most of the renewable energy projects are coming in private sector, so automatically the share of private sector is bound to increase. From the present 10%, it will increase to about 30% by the year 2030.
Okay. My sir, next question is around the solar rooftop scheme. A lot of enthusiasm in the country ever since it was announced in January. In fact, a lot of manifestos now talking about that. Tell us as to when we say that REC is the nodal agency, what will be the modalities of these schemes? What exactly will be REC's role in it? And how ambitious is the target when we see from a macro lens?
Actually, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is a nodal ministry for implementation of rooftop solar. And Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has appointed REC as overall program implementation agency. Our job is to coordinate with various stakeholders, starting from the rooftop owners, the distribution companies, vendors, and bank and financial institutions who will be giving loan.
Right.
The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has indicated to us that they are targeting installation of about 1 crore rooftop solar in next 2 years, and they're also targeting to cover all the government buildings and commercial buildings by rooftop solar. For that, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has also allocated various CPSEs under Ministry of Power. About 8 central public sector undertakings have been allocated different states and UTs to populate all the government buildings through rooftop solar. Right. So our job is quite complex because we need to coordinate with the rooftop owners.
Right.
Starting from the registration of the application on National Rooftop Solar Portal, there were certain issues pertaining to rooftop solar national portal. We have been able to integrate with the state portals. The APIs were integrated. Now anybody can access through their state portals or through National Rooftop Solar Portal. The integration of the portal was first task. We also set up a call center to address the queries of the rooftop owners. Right. A grievance redressal mechanism also been put in place. And after the model code of conduct gets over, then we'll plan an outreach program with information education and communication strategy. The collateral-free loan has to be given by the banks and financial institutions. For that also we need to coordinate with the banks at the field level. For that we are taking help of our 22 regional offices, or officers who are posted in different states and union territories. They are coordinating with the distribution companies. Ministry of Power has issued, they have amended the rules. Now the technical feasibility report has been done away below 10 kilowatt capacity, and for more than 10 kilowatt capacity, the technical feasibility report has to be given within 15 days. The consequent to this amendment of the rules carried out by Ministry of Power, the distribution companies and the State Electricity Regulatory Commission also making suitable position to facilitate this doing away of this technical feasibility report below 10 kilowatt. This will help in expediting the installation. Then our CPSEs will also play the role of a trusted vendor. They'll also be providing services as a trusted vendor in order to ensure the pricing as well as quality of the solar modules which are going to be installed on the rooftops.
Right. So right now, if we look at the renewable energy scenario in India, a lot of it is focused on solar, wind, or a mix of these projects, hybrid projects. How is REC seeing some other sources of new energy? Let's say bioenergy was a big focus in the budget. Then piped natural gas is another big theme. How do you see the financing for these sectors in the coming years?
You have to see from the perspective of the commitment made by India at Glasgow COP26 that India is targeting to install 500 gigawatt of installed electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel sources. Non-fossil fuel sources include solar, wind, and biomass. PNG natural gas will not come into them because it is still fossil fuel. So we are targeting, since the installation of 500 gigawatt of installed capacity by the year 2030, since renewable energy is intermittent in nature, we need to have storage solution. That's the challenge area. So we have also been looking into the avenues to finance these battery energy storage projects. Pump storage hydro projects are very good projects because it does away with the reliance on battery, because we don't have resource of lithium ion. So it is getting imported. But instead of battery energy storage, if we are able to develop pump storage hydro project, that would be good for the country. We are also looking into the financing this new technology area like green hydrogen and green ammonia. Recently we had sanctioned one project in Oman and another project in Odisha for production of green hydrogen and green ammonia. There is internationally a lot of demand for green ammonia. We are also in the process of setting up of a subsidiary of REC in Gift City. Through this subsidiary in Gift City, we'll be able to borrow in terms of dollar and lend in terms of dollar. Because this green hydrogen, green ammonia developers, they need financing in terms of dollars because electrolyzers they have been importing, and the offtake arrangement for green hydrogen is with the outside agencies.
Okay. Sir, my last question to you. You know, the last time I spoke to you, you talked about how REC has been able to create value for its investors. And in general, we've seen in the last year how PSU stocks, you know, in the market have fared. How would you describe in general, you know, if you can talk about from REC's perspective as well from a macro lens, the turnaround in the PSUs, the value that they have been able to create, which has, you know, attracted investor interest?
This is not, in fact, when you see all the power sector PSUs, the share values of all the power sector PSUs has been increasing consistently. The reason being the turnaround in power sector. Lot of improvement has taken in power sector. The demand has been increasing at the rate of 8%. Then over and above that, the government has made a lot of conscious efforts for improving the financial and operational efficiency of distribution companies. Government also introduced this late payment surcharge rules. That has really been a game changer. And this implementation of revamped distribution sector scheme.
You were a part of that scheme, right?
So revamped distribution sector scheme, there are two components. One is loss reduction work, second is prepaid smart meter. Prepaid smart meters are going to play a very crucial role in improving the financial and operational efficiency of the distribution companies. The overall turnaround of discoms, because the state government dues, the government department dues have started coming down. The discoms have adhered to the trajectory committed by them in RDSS. The state governments have started paying quarterly subsidy in advance to the distribution companies. And for the legacy subsidy dues, they have paid the EMI, they have fixed the EMIs, and they are already committed to the trajectory. The legacy subsidies bills are also getting reduced over a period of next 2 to 3 years. That has really helped in improving the overall health in the power sector.
Right. Mr. Dewangan, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you so much for talking and giving us a macro lens of what's happening in the power sector and its health. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.